You think Surah Ikhlas is short because it's simple. It's not. Most of us learned it as children. We recite it in prayer. We know it by heart. 4 lines, 12 words in Arabic, takes maybe 10 seconds to say, but there's something we don't know. Something Ibn Arabi spent years trying to show people. Not about the words themselves, about what happens when you read them, about what they do to the heart when you actually stop and listen. Here's what most of us do. We read Surah Ikhlas quickly, we move through it. We finish and we move on. We say it 3 times after Fajr. We include it in our night prayers. We recite it when we're tired or rushed. And we think we've done something good. We have. But there's more, much more. The surah isn't just information. It's not a statement you agree with and store away in your mind. It's a mirror. And most of us never look into it long enough to see what it reflects back. We glance at it, we nod, we move on. But the surah was meant to be felt, not just known. Let me give you a small example from daily life. You're standing in your kitchen. Early morning, the house is quiet. You're making tea or coffee. Your hands are moving automatically. Your mind is somewhere else entirely. You're thinking about yesterday, or worrying about tomorrow, or replaying something someone said that bothered you. And then, for no clear reason, you stop. Just for a second, you notice the warmth of the cup in your hand, the steam rising slowly, the silence around you, and in that moment, something shifts. Not dramatically, not like a revelation, just clearly. You're present. You're here. You're not lost in thought anymore. Everything feels a little more real, a little more alive. That moment? That's what Surah Ikhlas is trying to give you. But not once. Every single time you read it. If you let it. Most people think the surah is teaching them about Allah. It is. Absolutely. But it's also doing something else, something deeper, something more immediate. It's clearing the heart. Every single time you say it, if you say it with presence, with attention, it removes one layer of confusion, one layer of false imaging, one layer of misunderstanding about who Allah is. Because that's what we do. Without even realizing it, we imagine Allah as distant, or watching from far away, or waiting for us to finally be good enough. We imagine Him as harsh when we fail, or pleased only when we perform perfectly. We imagine Him as someone we have to convince, someone we have to prove ourselves to. We don't mean to do this, but the heart collects these images over time, from people who hurt us, from pain we didn't understand, from teachers who spoke with harshness instead of mercy, from our own inner critic that never stops judging. And Surah Ikhlas, when you really read it, when you let it land, dissolves them, one by one, gently, without force. Here's what Ibn Arabi understood. The surah doesn't just describe Allah's oneness intellectually, it enacts it in your heart. When you say, Kul huwa Allahu ahad, if you're truly present, your heart recognizes something, not with thought, with feeling, with awareness. There is only one source, one reality, one foundation beneath everything, and everything else. Your worry, your planning, your endless mental chatter, your sense that you have to control everything, starts to quiet. Not because you forced it to stop, because the surah itself creates that space. It opens a door, and for a moment, the noise settles. But most of us rush through it. We say the words, we move our lips, but we don't let them settle into the chest. It's like drinking water without swallowing. The water touches your mouth, but it doesn't reach your body. Now here's the part most people miss entirely. The second line, Allahu as-Samad. Stop for a second. Really hear that word, as-Samad. We translate it as the eternal or the self-sufficient. But the Arabic carries something deeper. Samad means the one everything leans on, the one nothing can exist without, the absolute refuge, not just philosophically, actually. Right now, your heart is beating because of as-Samad. Your lungs are breathing because of as-Samad. The ground under your feet, the air around you, the thought in your mind right now, all of it held by as-Samad. And here's what most of us miss. This isn't just a description, it's an invitation. Your heart, when it hears this, is being invited to rest, to stop holding everything together by yourself, to remember that you are not the source of your own existence. You never were. You didn't create yourself. You don't sustain yourself. You're not the one keeping your heart beating right now. That's not meant to make you feel small or powerless. It's meant to relieve you. Because here's the truth most of us are carrying without realizing it. We're exhausted from trying to be our own foundation. We're tired of pretending we have control over things we never controlled. We're worn out from holding ourselves together, keeping everything stable, making sure nothing falls apart. And as-Samad says, you don't have to do that. There is one who holds it all, who holds you, and it's not you. You can rest, you can breathe, you can stop. But here's what happens instead. You read the surah. You understand it intellectually, but you don't feel it. Why? Because immediately after prayer, you return to the same mode you were in before, planning the day, fixing problems, controlling outcomes, worrying about what comes next. Your body just prostrated. Your tongue just declared everything depends on Him. And then you stand up and act like everything depends on you, not intentionally, not consciously, but the gap is there, as if you never read the surah at all, as if those words didn't just remind you of something essential. And the surah didn't fail. It never fails. You just didn't give it time to work. Ibn Arabi used to say something beautiful about this. He said, this surah is medicine for the heart. But medicine needs time to enter the blood. It needs time to move through your system. If you take it and immediately run back into stress, back into the same thoughts, the same patterns, it can't do what it's designed to do. Not because it's weak, because you didn't give it space. So what's the secret? What's the one thing most Muslims miss when they read Surah Ikhlas? It's not complicated. It's actually very simple. But simple doesn't mean easy, especially at first. The secret is this. Pause. After you recite Surah Ikhlas, pause. Not for an hour, not for 20 minutes, just for a few breaths, maybe 5, maybe 10. That's it. Don't rush to the next surah. Don't jump immediately into dua. Don't start mentally planning your day. Just sit with what you just said. Let the meaning rest in your chest, not your head, your chest. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to try to feel something spiritual or elevated. Just let your heart recognize, I just remembered something true. Allah is one. Everything depends on Him. I depend on Him, not in theory, right now, in this moment. That's it. That's the whole secret. No special technique, no hidden knowledge, just presence. And if you do this, not once, but regularly, daily, every time you recite it, something starts to change. You won't notice it immediately. It's not dramatic, but you'll notice it in small ways first. A moment of panic about something, and then a softening in your chest. A tight situation where you'd normally freeze or react, and instead, a quiet trust. A conversation that would have made you defensive, and instead, space to listen. Not because you forced yourself to feel calm. Not because you're pretending everything is fine, because the surah did its work, slowly, over time. It reshaped how your heart understands reality. It taught your heart, beneath the level of thought, that you are held, that you are not alone, that you never were. There's a teaching in the tradition that says the heart finds rest when it remembers its source. Not when it has all the answers, not when life becomes easy, not when problems disappear, when it remembers it is not alone in this, when it stops pretending to be its own foundation, when it lets go of the exhausting illusion that everything depends on it. That's what Surah Ikhlas offers you, but only if you let it stay long enough, only if you give it time to sink in. Let me tell you what changes when you start reading it this way. You'll still have problems. You'll still face difficulty. That doesn't disappear. But the quality of how you meet those things shifts. Before, you might have faced hardship with tightness, with fear, with the feeling that you have to fix this immediately or everything will collapse. Now, slowly, over time, you start to meet difficulty differently, not with control, with trust, not pretending problems aren't real, but seeing them without the added weight of panic. You take action, but without the desperate grip. You care, but without the crushing responsibility of thinking it all depends on you. Because something inside you knows now. You're not holding this alone, and that knowing didn't come from a book. It came from the surah doing its work. Slowly, quietly, every time you gave it space. Most of us treat Quran like information we need to collect. Read this surah, get this reward. Say it 3 times. Earn this benefit. Memorize this, complete that. Check the box. Move on. And yes, there is blessing in that. There absolutely is. But the deeper gift, the one that changes your life from the inside, is what happens in your heart. The Quran isn't just instruction. It's not just guidance for behavior. It's presence itself. Not a physical presence. Not that it replaces Allah, but that when it's recited with attention, something alive enters the space. When you read it with attention, with openness, it changes the quality of your awareness. It changes how you experience being alive. It doesn't tell you to be different. It makes you different, slowly, gently, without force, without pressure, just by letting the truth settle into the places inside you that forgot. Here's the final thing I want you to understand. You've been reading Surah Ikhlas for years, maybe your whole life, and maybe, if you're honest, you've always thought, this is basic. I already know this. This is what kids learn. This is beginner stuff. But knowing and experiencing are not the same thing at all. You can know the ocean exists. You can study it, read about it, see pictures of it. That's not the same as standing in it, feeling the water around you, the pull of the current. Surah Ikhlas is not asking you to learn something new. It's not testing your knowledge. It's not checking if you understand the theology. It's asking you to stop, to feel, to recognize what already true but forgotten. Allah is one. You are held by that one. You are not separate from His care. You never were. Not that you are Him, not that you don't need to seek Him, but that His care reaches you whether you feel it or not. This isn't philosophy. This is your actual life, right now. The next time you recite Surah Ikhlas, whether in prayer or after prayer or any moment you choose, try this. Say it slowly, not because you're performing, because you're listening. Let each word land before you move to the next. Kul huwa Allahu ahad. Feel it. Let it register. One, only one. Allahu as-Samad. Let your chest soften. Let the weight drop a little. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. No origin outside himself, no dependency. Complete. Wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Nothing like him, nothing compares, nothing else holds what he holds. And after you finish, don't move immediately. Sit with it, breathe with it. Let your heart remember what it already knows beneath the noise, that you are not carrying this alone, that there is one who holds everything, the stars, the earth, your breath, your worry, your hope, and that includes you. Right now, in this exact moment, you are held. This is what Ibn Arabi wanted people to feel, not just believe, feel. Because belief without feeling is fragile. It cracks under pressure. But when your heart knows, not intellectually, but experientially, that you are held by the One, everything changes, not all at once, but deeply, slowly, permanently. So start today, not tomorrow. Not when you feel more ready, today. The next time you say Surah Ikhlas, pause after. Give it 5 breaths, just 5. Let the truth settle. Let your heart receive it. And watch what begins to shift. Not because you're doing something extra, because you're finally letting the surah do what it was always meant to do. If this landed somewhere inside you, leave one word below, just one. Whatever comes to your heart first.